when it comes to what's going on in the NFL world today, and we've covered this story obviously for a while here on the show, the Brett Favre welfare scandal. Now, if you don't know, or if you didn't catch when we talked about it in previous episodes, Brett Favre is in a lot of hot water right now, and it very well could lead to some potentially criminal charges, I think, based on what has been exposed over the last 24 hours via his, when you talk about his text messages about getting funds to build a volleyball court for Southern Mississippi
for his daughter.
But let's hold tight there. We got a little video we're going to check out, a newsreel that kind of gives us a quick rundown for those of you who did not get a chance to catch when we talked about it before. Mississippi is kind of rife with scandal right now. So let's look at this video real quick, and we'll react to it.
This hour about a scandal in Mississippi involving an NFL legend.
Brett Favre accused of receiving money from the state's welfare system and diverting it to other causes. Now, an investigative report by Mississippi Today reveals a former state governor may be involved too. NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delaney is following this story from D.C. So, Ken, what do we know about these texts that are out there and what they say?
And to be clear, Aaron, NBC News has obtained these texts, which are part of court records. And just to set the stage for you, this is a massive scandal that's been erupting for the last 2 years. As much as $80 million in federal welfare money intended for poor women and children were diverted to a number of projects, including some $8 million to projects involving Brett Favre. And Favre has always said that he never knew this was welfare money, but these newly released text messages show how deeply involved he was in lobbying the state then Republican Governor Phil Bryant to try to get this money for projects including a volleyball facility at the University of Mississippi where Favre's daughter was playing the sport.
Pause it for a second.
Who was employed by the state.
So is it cool if it's just like infrastructure money that I'm stealing? If it's not welfare money, it's cool to steal, right?
It varies on what it is. Like, I mean, most of the state stuff is pretty corrupt either way. It's like we just figured out about this one.
Yeah. Like, but I think the thing here is, the thing to me about this is that, when you look at the state of Mississippi, it's really the poorest. It's the poorest state in the country. Mm-hmm. I think they're ranked last in education, and just recently, the water system, the drinking water system, completely failed on a part of the state, on their biggest city,
Jackson.
Like, I think, right? People, and when that water failed, I believe it was the governor who came out on TV in a press conference and told people that water ain't free. It's not free to fix that thing, and they're gonna have to buy water until this gets handled. He leaned into the fact that the money it's going to cost to fix this problem, but on the other side of that, you've got $80 million in federal funds. That's from the federal government. This is like money that really, I think that in and of itself makes this a federal case more than a state case, because the feds are going to want to, are going to be involved in this. Mm-hmm. You've got 80 million that got basically stolen, 80 million misappropriated, misused. And, honestly, I feel like the story should be bigger than it is. I think it's catching wind because of these text messages, but this is something that I've been talking about this for months, and it just was unbelievable to me that of all things, he got this money to build a volleyball stadium, an $8 million volleyball stadium for his daughter's school, who attended the college at Southern Mississippi.
Are they good at volleyball?
It's not even like a good, it's not Mississippi State or Ole Miss. It's Southern Mississippi. Like,
it's just like the goal of it. Like, how do you not know? How does he not know where the money came from? That's just total hogwash. But let's keep listening, because they're going to actually go through the text messages And I mean, I think everybody's seen the text messages,
messages
at this point. But the dude literally is trying to he's inquiring about, can this get out to the media? Well, let's keep listening.
People don't understand.
Trying to sue to get some of the money back and was fired when he sent out a subpoena for information about this volleyball facility. Take a listen to what he had to say.
The texts do tell us a much deeper story about the Governor Bryant's involvement in this $5 million transaction.
And what do they say about Brett Favre's culpability or state of mind?
Well, Mr. Favre, of course, did not take an oath to enforce the law neutrally. The governor did. But they both were very much engaged over apparently a 3-year period in getting this done.
And ultimately, they did get the money for that volleyball facility for $4 million, guys.
So, Ken, what's next here? I mean, how could these texts be used by investigators?
So there is an open FBI investigation into this situation. In fact, Brett Favre's attorney told us he had been interviewed by the FBI some time ago. There's no evidence that he is currently under law enforcement scrutiny, but 2 people have pleaded guilty in state court in this case, and the FBI remains very actively investigating, Aaron.
All right, we should let folks know you can see more of Ken's reporting tonight on NBC Nightly News with Lester.
Well, damn, they didn't even show the damn text.
Yeah.
All right, here are the texts. I got the text right here.
Yeah.
You pull them up. I mean, damn, I really thought. I mean, I hadn't seen the video, so I'm just assuming. That
you figured they'd at least tell the text or at least have some semblance of it. They're all over the
read it all. Read it all.
That's a big thing. Like I don't know.
Paraphrase at least.
Fucking amateur night.
It's NBC. They got to talk about the freight rail strike.
I know. So here's the text. August 3rd, 2017. Brett Favre. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? That right there alone, he knows where it's coming from. Mm-hmm. Because he's specifically asking if they can find out where it came from, which means he knows already where it came from, where it's coming from. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's an admission right there.
I mean, he knows it's not coming from something he's earned for sure.
Exactly. He knows that this is a backdoor deal. That's what he knows. He knows this is a backdoor deal. That's why he's asking about the media and if they can find out where it came from and how much he's getting. And the response is, and this is a Nancy New. This lady, her and her son blew hella money. Oh my goodness, they blew so much money. I mean, I think they were the ones who had the majority of the 80 million.
Yeah, if they didn't blow that money, then none of this is even even in the news. I mean, if that doesn't come out, nobody knows about Brett Favre's involvement.
I mean, this is the thing. They invested in Brett Favre's company with some of that money, millions. Mm-hmm. So it's like their feet. They're just it's a circle. They're just feeding each other.
That's how corruption works. Generally.
Yeah, pretty much. It happened in California. Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, got a real sweetheart deal for Angel Stadium and the land around it a couple of years ago. For I think $330 million for land in Anaheim, California. And they realized it's wait a minute, they were going to build it up in this complex. They realized wait a minute. Why did he get this so cheap? Land in California. Yeah, I mean, $300 million. You'd be lucky to get a 5-bedroom house for that. But I mean, the problem is, it realized he was actually given a couple mil to the mayor as a kickback. Yeah. So that's a corruption scandal, and the whole sale got voided.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Mm-hmm. So the response here from Nancy New is no. We have never had that information publicized. I understand you being uneasy about that, though. Well, why would he be uneasy about that? Why?
I don't know.
Right.
Let's see what happens on Monday with the conversation with some of the folks at Southern. Maybe it will click with them. Hopefully. What were you gonna say, Five?
Oh no, I mean the thing is we look at this and we know what's going on because we can read and we can interpret. But a lawyer in front of a judge will tear that shit to. He's like, "There's nothing criminal here." Right. I don't see anything. He could be referring to, deferred payments, or injury settlement money. Like, there's nothing specific there. Like,
yeah, that's how the lawyers will get it.
That's how
it could be.
lawyers
It could be money
okay.
from like his elbow and shoulder pad.
Right.
Okay.
Jerry Rice.
I don't
Maybe
think
it's
it's
that.
hold
done
on.
legally.
Hold on, though. This is
Only
this is
in
the
common
thing, though.
sense.
This is the thing. She responds after he says, "Okay, thanks." She responds the next day, "Wow, just got off the phone with Phil Bryant, the former governor. He is on board with us. We will get this done." I mean, what all you have to do is go look at records of what Phil Bryant was involved in at
what
that
this
time,
is, right?
and you can figure out what they're talking about. I mean, and the crazy thing is,
I don't think they let you
all these
connect the dots
people,
like that.
all these people, they just openly text each other about this shit.
Yeah,
They do.
Like, hey,
I mean,
you want to open line, dude?
The motherfuckers in the street, they're like, "Nah, meet me at the gas station on the corner. We gonna talk face to face. No, don't ever hit me up about this."
Even the cartels have burner phones. They break that shit after they're done talking.
They're out here like Joe Pesci in Casino, talking.
Yeah, not realizing their phone is tapped.
Yeah, if you don't realize the government has every single text all of us have taken, then you're a moron. That was revealed. 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
they can access. They have Freedom of Information Act
at any time they want.
Anything. At any time. All that shit.
You could have deleted it a year ago. There's a good chance they can get it.
Oh yeah,
unless you're Daniel Snyder.
Right. Unless you're a powerful owner of an NFL franchise.
Hey, Daniel Snyder has been ducking in a subpoena to testify for 2 months. He's been ducking it on a yacht.
Yeah.
In international waters.
Can we do it via Zoom?
I mean,
no, you can't get internet on the sea for whatever
yeah.
reason. It'll be like,
why have all that money?
Can't hear you.
Why have all that money in yachts if you're not going to take advantage?
Yeah, true that.
It's a write-off.
Come get me.
All right, so that's the gist on that. Now, there's been a pretty nice take that people have been talking about in the Twitterverse from Shannon Sharpe. We're gonna take a look at that because I think that I haven't seen it, but I heard he goes in on Brett Favre, like goes in hammer time on him. So let's take a look at this. Skip.
Oh, I bet he's having fun this week.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right, here we go.
A little yak next to him.
Well, I don't think none can tarnish it because if you go back and look at his history when he played in the NFL, they should have tarnished it already. I talked to people that was in the room when Brett Favre went to the Hall of Fame, and nobody mentioned about text messages that he sent to that jet masseuse. Nobody mentioned anything about the addiction that he suffered from. But yet, T.O., they brought up everything. Can you imagine if T.O. would have had an incidents like Brett Favre off the field? T.O. still, to this day right now, would not be in the Hall of Fame. Yet they walked right past it like Brett Favre did nothing.
That is true. I give you that.
The problem that I have with this situation.
Yep.
Brett Favre doesn't have a great reputation.
No.
I mean,
he was very Deshaun Watson with that Jets reporter, Jen Sturgeon or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sent her dick pics, right?
Yeah.
Yep, with Crux. Everyone made fun of him.
I mean, dude, who sends dick pics? I mean, you're literally just setting yourself up.
Right.
Yeah.
For when that shit comes out, it's going to be all downhill. But I'll give him some leeway because he was pretty funny in Something About Mary.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when the first time I saw him in person was my third preseason game my rookie year. We played at Green Bay, at Lambeau, and they introduced the entire. This is back when they kind of still did. I mean, hell, this is 2007, so they kind of still did like team offensive introductions like more often, and they bring out the whole Green Bay offense. And then they fucking cut the lights, put a spotlight down on the tunnel, and then you just hear them saying, "And now," it was like fucking WWE.
Oh, he's a diva for sure.
And now your starting quarterback for the Green Bay, and he comes jogging out, and I'm just standing there like, "That's Brett Favre." I watched him play the Super Bowl game years ago. Like, there's a little bit of a bigger than life thing there, but. Obviously, as a player, once you get into the league and you start hearing how your counterparts feel about other players, Brett Favre never really had a good. I mean, I've heard people talk. I've heard well, I won't say name, but a cat that we played with who had been in Green Bay, he said he was a dick. I mean, straight up and down. So, anyways, let's keep going with this video. Let's hear what Shannon has to say. Oh, Shay.
You got to be a sorry mofo to steal from the lowest of the low. Skip, Mississippi is the poorest state in our country.
It is.
Its citizens. So if they're the poorest state, Brett Favre is taken from the underserved. You made $100+ million in the NFL. And they talk about, well, he didn't know. This is what Brett Favre takes. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? So if you got to ask this question, is there any way the media can find out? You already know you're doing something wrong. The mere fact that you don't want anybody to know. So you know you're doing something wrong. And Skip, he wanted to seem so philanthropic. He wanted to change the perception of the narrative. He take money for some damn volleyball arena.
Well, his
daughter plays. So you see what Brett?
Hey, I thought he's finna swing on Skip.
I mean, he's essentially like the opposite of Robin Hood at this point.
Yeah, he's taking.
I don't know if there's a name for that, but
taking from the poor to make himself more rich.
Yeah, he's just
that's called a politician.
People. Yeah, he's just
what a fucking
he's just
scumbag.
the rich.
Favre did for his alma mater. No, he didn't get no money came out of his pocket. He stole money from people that really needed that money.
Yep.
Man, this is.
And here's an interesting fact. Sorry to pause it again. You know that Mississippi's welfare department denied like 90% of applicants for welfare. That was last year. They denied 90%. So they're not even like giving them the money to begin with. They're holding the money and then they're using the money. Like that's like, I mean, it's gross, honestly, but it's probably not as uncommon as you might think with this breaking and being big news. It's probably a lot more common that kind of shit happens all across the country. Yeah. These people there's no oversight. Nobody's looking at them.
I mean, the only reason why we know about it now is because it's a former NFL player.
No, the FBI.
Instead of Brett Favre, it's probably like Brett Foley. Nobody knows about this. It's just like an overthought in the news. That's a sad part.
Chmura? What?
No, Chmura.
The FBI interviewed Brett Favre, I believe, too.
This is embarrassing. And he's not the only one. Ted DiBiase, a former wrestler, even Marcus Dupree, a great running back at the school that you loved growing up, Oklahoma. He got money. How can you got to be really low to take from the poorest of the poor? Brett, you ain't got enough money? Okay, Skip, listen. You know you're not supposed to have this. But how about go give the damn speeches? They're paying you to give speeches and you didn't even give the speeches. And now you won't even pay the money back. And they fired one of the guys that say he tried to recoup the money. They fired him well, he was a Clinton appointee. This was political.
I'll throw this out there. If you live in Mississippi, I will do a speech for $500,000 and actually show up.
Hey, this motherfucker got like 800. I think he got like 800,000 to do speeches.
Have y'all ever been to Mississippi in the summertime?
Hell, man, please.
That's gotta be.
Thank God I have not.
It is literally the worst. Like it's dangerous. Terrible.
It was worse than Jacksonville last year.
Yeah, it's hot. It's sticky. Ooh. There's bugs like everywhere. Like Mississippi. Like I grew up in Alabama, and Alabama's pretty bad, but Mississippi is somehow worse. Like it is rough because I mean the river's right there, so it's just humid all the time and sticky.
Let's keep going.
I guess that's Florida.
I want to see how this. I feel like there's a climax coming here with Shannon Sharpe. He's hot.
It always is.
Shouldn't you get the money back? Have nothing to do with politics. The man got the. And this is what we know. Skip, when black and brown people do fraud the government, they hell bent. Mm-hmm. You get an EBT card and you get WIC and you get stuff like that, boy, they move heaven and earth to try to put you in jail for $400 little measly dollars.
Fact.
Now this man done took $1 million.
Fucking fact.
I mean, there is a number above which it's okay to steal. I'm still looking for it, but there is a number out there.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, there's a lot of people just scamming a couple $100 off of these damn food stamp cards, and they will put your ass right on in jail for that. And here we have the fucking governor of a state and athletes just yanking all the welfare money, the money that goes to the EBT cards. So they stealing the people who steal it.
Damn.
I mean, this is all kinds of just backwards.
And there's no honor amongst thieves.
Somebody got $3 million. Somebody got $400,000, and they sitting around like, well, it happened, and we'll see. And they're gonna get more money and do it all over again.
And to your point, the Mississippi Department of Human Services had to file a civil lawsuit against Brett Favre because he had not paid back the interest he owed on the $1.1 million that he was fraudulently given for giving no speeches.
Right. And he won't even pay the 1.1 back. He won't even pay the interest on the money.
Right. It's $228,000.
I mean, you got to be really low.
Yeah.
You got to be really low. And people and politicians.
You got to be a rotten motherfucker. That's what he really want to say.
Yeah.
You got to be really low too. To know that this money is supposed to go to the most underserved, and you take it and give it to people that's made millions or got millions or have the potential to make millions, and you're willing to do that, you're willing to let your people starve, you let your people go underserved, and Brett Favre, you took this money, ain't nothing. Skip, this is what we know.
Yeah.
If people like you, there is nothing you can do to turn them against you.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this before now. We see what's going on right now. We got people bending themselves, becoming contortionists, trying to explain away what somebody doing with top secret documents at their location. They're bending themselves in pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking like Neo in the Matrix. So nothing Brett Favre can do. But he's been a sleazeball. He's been shady for a very, very long time.
Ooh, there it is.
To all of your points, the one thing I'm pretty sure about is Brett Favre will not be seen in any more national TV commercials from this point forward.
Why won't? Skip, they knew about this. He's still in Copper John. He's still throwing passes to Jerry White.
Yes.
I mean, you doing. You communicating
Got him flustered
through text about illegal activity. You already said, if you pay me, will the media find out about this?
Yep.
Skip.
That's about as damning as it gets.
Skip, you don't think I want to do something for my school, Savannah State?
That could be RICO. That really could be, because that's all of them working together. More than two people is a conspiracy. Is conspiracy to commit. I mean, that's conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, basically. Yeah, conspiracy, because that's federal money. If we got anybody who knows the legal side of this, feel free to add into the conversation. We'll talk about it. But it's weird that there hasn't been any. I mean, there haven't been any like real investigations. The FBI is investigating now, but nobody in this. I mean, well, no, there was one guy. He got fired.
Yeah,
he got fired because he was going to have them
getting too close
under oath, because he found he connected the dots. He connected the dots, and they fired him. Literally, on a Friday, they were just like, "Yeah, hey, so we like the job you did, but we're also gonna go a different direction." And they just fired him right there, and that's what they told him. They said, "We like the job you did." Like, okay, slap me in the face with your nuts some more.
Hell, I would like to give them a $5 million, $10 million donation, but I will not put myself to try to seem philanthropic or this great benefactor and to take from Georgia's poorest. They're most underserved. Why the hell would I do that? Now, it's probably going to be in my state. Yeah, when I'm gone, yes, Savannah State. I'm going to leave money for Savannah State. But I ain't got it like that. And I'm not trying to be philanthropic to try to show everybody I am. Where I steal from one, I rob Peter to pay Paul, so people look at me, man, look at what Shannon Sharpe did. Bro, for a volleyball arena, $5 million, people need help the most. And you do this, and then $1 million, 1.1 million in speeches. Who the hell are you going to talk to? Poor people don't want to hear no damn encouragement. They need help. They need supplies. For what?
I can't even go to the speech. I'm fucking broke.
Poor people don't want to hear no encouragement.
I got to work 3 more jobs tonight. motherfucker.
Yo, he's
Because
snapping
you're not
on
giving
this
me my
cat.
money.
He is snapping pretty hard.
He is snapping.
What speeches is he? Skip, tell me the speeches that he could possibly give that's going to help the Mississippi's most underserved. That's going to do something for them. He ain't bringing no damn food. He ain't bringing water. He not bringing supplies. How did he help teen pregnancy? What?
And what boggles my mind is he made so much money in the NFL for so long,
Yes.
so much for so long, that he comes across as incredibly miserly. Why couldn't he just give some of his savings? I mean, he's fully capable. He's got deep enough pockets at this point. He could have bought the volleyball.
Yes.
He could have paid the $5 million,
Yes.
right?
But Skip, everybody wants to spend somebody else's money.
Yeah, well, come on.
I mean, it's just natural. But I mean, but you got to be pretty low that you would take from the most underserved to fill your need, or so you can seem philanthropic. Really? Because Skip, you know they say, man, you see what Brett did? $5 million for a volleyball arena because his daughter played there. He didn't have to do that. He didn't do nothing. The federal government gave that money, but they're quick to talk about.
Stealing's hard work.
Stealing, and then we need to cut out some of this pork and all this. Stop it.
Yep.
The biggest criminals, the people that steal the most, look like that.
Hey, that cat was hot right there. He was hot. And you know, the more that I think about it, like, and he made a good point. Brett Favre did this to seem philanthropic. This is an ego thing he did. You took 1.1 million to speak to seem like you're like inspirational, but you didn't speak. And then you took what, 4 million from welfare fund. I mean, these all came from welfare funds. You took 4 million to build a volleyball facility for your daughter's alma mater.
Yeah, she doesn't play there anymore. Like,
What are they gonna do? They're gonna give you a fucking plaque.
Be one thing if she played there. Like, oh man, the old place was falling apart. She was gonna fuck up her knee, you know, on a bad court or something. I gotta do something. No, I mean,
but he totally did it for his own self-gratification. Do you call that a narcissist? Do you call him a fucking sociopath? Like,
oh, he just seems greedy, you know.
Just an asshole.
Yeah. It's pretty on brand for Brett Favre.